Hey everyone, it's Toby from SSW. Today we have the TimePro sprint review for sprint 318. We have myself and JK from the dev team, Adam and Brady from the stakeholders, and our new PO, Michael, here. So let's jump into the email and we'll show you what we've been working on. So this was a 1 week sprint and we had 3 sprint goals. The first one was an Ingram Micro done video, which has been complete and sent through to all the stakeholders. Have you had a chance to watch that one, Adam?
No, but I wouldn't watch it unless you give me a call and we watch it together.
Okay, fair enough. Well, it's out there anyway. That's a 10-minute video, so I wouldn't recommend putting it on now, but we can have a look through it at another point.
Okay.
Cool. Second point there, staging. seed data is set up for new tenants. So if you may recall, we were running into a couple of issues after our CRM fix. And since we're new to the database, so we needed that seed data back in there so that we can start creating product invoices, for example. This data has been manually added into the existing environments, but we've also improved the initial provisioning seed so it contains all this data. So any new tenants to be spun up, we'll include it. Finally, this one wasn't quite complete, the Ingram Micro testing on staging. So we have complete the MVP of Ingram Micro, which we'll get to a little bit further in the email. So it's ready for testing now, but in terms of unit testing and all that sort of integration tests, we're still working on them. I've got a couple running locally, but we just want to add a few more before we push the PR. Any questions so far?
No.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Who was working the sprint? It was myself, JK, and Tom, with a few public holidays sprinkled between there. Yeah, so the sprint backlog. From the completed tasks, we have the Ingram Micro product sync bug that has been resolved. So there was a couple of complexities with the API and how we're able to access things. We had to tweak a few more little bits and pieces because there was a PBI on this last week, if you recall. But now we're making sure that we're getting all the products that we need. We're not duplicating any of them when we pull them in. So it's working as we'd expect. Staging and relational data, I mentioned that before, that's all fixed for SSW and SSW EU. Update health check UI, so as requested, we've made a few tweaks there, so it's ready for the CTF. The CTF had a second version recorded this morning and edited by Marcus. That's currently going through the tests pleases. Brady, please check your inbox. Awesome. The next one, Ingram Micro, the video, as we mentioned, that's being complete and sent out. The report, so part of this email includes data about the PBIs and how it was generated, whether they were Yakshaver or not. JK kindly added a short pipeline into DevOps that's able to query this once a week just before our sprint review meeting, so we're easy able to grab the data rather than going through and collecting it. Cool, so they're all the complete ones. I'll quickly skim over the ones that we're still working on since they've been pulled into the next sprint. We have a credit note bug that was failing. JK's found a workaround, so he's been able to unblock Jimmy, but we're still working on the actual solution. Ingram Micro testing, the product sync. Yeah, we're actively developing those integration tests. We've got some stuff there that's running locally, just still working on it, trying to get all the edge cases. CRM sync, it's been pulled across a couple of sprints. We haven't been able to get Tom a whole lot, but this is now we've come across the fix. It's a matter of testing it. Refactoring the account name column. This was requested by Jean, and it's just an old field that's no longer in use that we want to deprecate. And finally, the add animation on add notes in the timesheet UI. You may recall that was another task you set for Tom. It's just adding that animation when you click add to notes, and then also the done video. So I think Tom has had a fair few public holidays or client bookings, so he hasn't had a chance to finish that one off just yet.
So it's not in production.
I believe the changes that he has done are in production. Well, last I heard, they're in production, but I think it's still waiting on the done video.
Mm-hmm. Has anybody noticed when they add timesheets that there's an effect?
I think part 3 is not yet done.
But have you ever seen anything fly over?
I can't say I
suggest the timesheets. I didn't.
You don't use it.
Well, I haven't needed to manually edit timesheets.
How do you get your timesheets in automatically?
Suggest the timesheets.
Oh, suggested timesheets.
I just click accept.
That just gives you the day. It doesn't give you what you did.
It does.
No, it does.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
The notes are populated. Yeah.
Oh, are they? Okay, I just thought it was the client was populated. Okay.
No, suggested timesheets uses automated timesheets.
Oh, does it? It throws it all in. Okay, and then when you do that, do you still look at it? Check it looks okay?
I see it on the preview, the summary.
So you check it looks okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody does?
And since you're able to edit it directly from that page, most of the time you won't even need to step into that UI.
Yeah, most of the important information is displayed straight away.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Any questions about those PBIs?
No, I don't think so. I think the only other thing is, Mike, what are the big ticket items that you are going to care about as product owner?
That's something we've had a couple of conversations about today, Adam, and I'm going to establish that over the next week. I'm going to look at and I'm going to have a look at the selling this as a product. I've got Yuli had a view that this is an SSW product, and I know that you're keen for us to package this and get it sold. So I'm going to genuinely look at what the market wants and where it would fit in the market and who might buy it and what features that they might care about. And what I plan to do is on the next sprint is bring those findings to this. I'm too new to it now to give you any really deep insight. I had a couple of sort of 50 miles away thoughts, but they're not researched by any stretch of the imagination. So I want to spend the next week to do that and come to the next sprint with some really firm views about that. And what I'd like to do out of that is that if there is things or features that I want to add, is maybe even do a mini spec review with JK. I'll get the approval to do so, that anything that's a new feature that we can give you some idea of what it would cost in time and effort to build anything new. But obviously I'm going to frame that around who's going to buy it and why.
Right. Okay. All right. That's good. I think what I'm trying to do is the big epic at the moment is get close to 100% on automatic timesheet usage. Right. So that will require the GitHub a feature. So the GitHub connector. And also just go to the Toby, could you just go to the website and look at just the roadmap so Mike can see that?
I did. I've already looked at that, Adam. Yeah,
okay.
I was looking through that, and so the migration to the latest Angular, JK said that's a big thing because there's a lot of errors and stuff. The GitHub makes sense because obviously DevOps and the recording of commits and all that's important. Those two things are sort of in train.
Right.
But I think I've got some good insight because when I went to Connects, I got a really good exposure to not just leave, sick management, HR, and all of that sort of stuff. I can see this product sitting somewhere. I just want to sort of work out whether features like Easy Leave and all that sort of stuff, we do a very, very light version because others do that, and we integrate into Employment Hero and 100 other HR products because I think there's a place for us there. And whether we're aiming at sort of 50 and below, consultancies, and I'm interested also in what they're doing in France as well for internationalization, because if we make it for someone to sell, I'd like to make people buy it across the globe would be the best, but the biggest thing. So I'm genuinely going to give that some effort, Adam, so that I come to you with something really, a product roadmap that makes sense as to why people will buy it.
Okay. Just for your information, that Easy Leave payroll on that roadmap should be moved into the Easy Leave on the roadmap there. That should be moved into the done.
Easy Leave. Yep, for sick leave management.
Yeah, sure. That should be moved into the done.
Okay. Could someone jot that down for me, and I'll make a task for that.
But you just want it done by Tiago, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Mike, can you just yak shave that to Tiago, and he'll do it. Just mention us.
All right, I'll do that right now if you like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. Jumping back into the email. So suggested timesheet and automatic timesheet usage, it's still sitting about the same. That's sort of 60% for suggested. 50% for automatic.
Can you have a line break between them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll put another one in after too.
Has it improved at all in the last few sprints? Is there a single person you've got on it?
I would say it's idling. Yeah, we're still at about the same probably for the last 3 sprints.
Has anyone asked anyone to get onto it?
No, sorry. Priorities, I suppose, have been elsewhere, but this is something that we will pursue if this is, number one priority. Sure.
I just want you to have an Excel spreadsheet of people that are not doing this, so you know the reason. If everybody on the list is, if there's 10 people that are just waiting for the GitHub integration, then there's several people that are not. So so there's probably another 20 that haven't told you it's because of GitHub. So you just have to know the reasons. And once you've got all your answers, you don't have to keep chasing because you know where you're at.
Sure. Okay, that's fair. Could someone jot that down for me, and I'll look into that. Cool.
Mike,
Next
you're
one.
already doing the notes?
And Mike,
Yes.
what I'd like you to do is a proper handover with Yuli and Toby and JK and myself. So it's very clear that the handover has been done. Just the same normal handover standard we always use. There's a rule on this. When devs do a handover, they go through a process. Obviously, product owners don't hand over very often, but we should still be using it.
Product standard.
Because if you get a bad handover from Yuli, that's never ideal. Yeah.
We have had a couple of chats about it, but I will do a more formal and follow the standard, Adam.
Yeah. Okay.
So what was it? So I'm going to do the yak shave on the TimePro website.
Now, Toby and JK, has there been any discussion at all about the tenants and being stuck on all the VMs that we have?
Here and there.
Yeah, but it's not. We're not worrying about it at the moment.
No, until we start moving to Azure.
But that requires Hangfire, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So do you want Hangfire on the roadmap?
We have it as an epic.
Right.
So the developer roadmap has it.
Okay. Do you want that on the roadmap?
I don't think on the public it makes sense.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Makes sense.
Cool. Alrighty. Next step here, the burn down. We've got a bit of a decline, not too bad. I mean, with the public holidays and stuff, I think it's not too bad a trend.
Okay.
DevOps, we haven't pushed any of the tests out yet in a PR, so they're still sitting about the same as last week. So nothing really to call out. Pipeline health, still passing well. We're seeing a bit of a fluctuation in the pipeline duration, but as we have discussed previously, it pulls these times from, I think it must include weighting as well between it, and it draws out the average. Cool. Production deployments, we've just seen one, which was yesterday. That was us, finally. Usually been SSW France. Application health, we've seen a bit of a peak, as you can see. I looked into these failed requests. It's a whole lot of 404s. Someone's trying to hit PHP, this, that, paths. Yeah, nothing to worry about. State of the epics, we have completed the Ingram Micro MVP, which is great. So now we can start to look at some of the other epics, which is definitely going to work well as with Mike coming in as well, and we can take the direction from a fresh sort of point. Any of the remaining work that I've identified for Ingram Micro, I've also chucked it into another epic for a post MVP, sort of like more extensive, well-rounded product. Cool. R&D, third-party API complexities. So still, that's the Ingram Micro stuff. What AI tools did we use? JK and I have been still hard at it with Copilot, Yakshaver, and ChatGPT. This is the new table that JK has produced as part of the pipeline that can show the number of Yakshaver PBIs.
1 sec. Let's pause for a sec with the AI usage. Did anyone use V0 for anything in the last sprint?
No.
Did anyone use Cursor?
I tried to switch over to it, but I didn't really have the time to set it up properly. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. No worries. Okay, good. All right.
It was more of a friction than helping me.
All right. Continue. Where did you get this table from?
So JK now generates this as part of the pipeline. He does a markdown representation, but yeah, this is I've just put it into a Outlook table. This includes the Yakshaver PBIs for our backlog.
Okay, so the last 30 days, there were 49 new PBIs, and Yakshaver was 28 of those, which makes that 57%. And then there should be a gap before the next bit, which is completed PBIs, which is 15, which is great. By the way, just get rid of the decimal place off the ratio there.
Yeah, we can update the script.
So basically we're saying there's more Yakshaver PBIs than anything else.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah, awesome. What would be amazing is to have one extra column, which is the prior 30 days. I don't know if that's a lot of trouble, but it would always give context.
Prior.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah,
Awesome.
Yakshaver's been great. Everyone seems to be using it. Marina was using it this morning, and she was blown away with how great it was for like non-technical, low barrier to entry. It's great.
Yeah.
Can you put an extra heading there, which is Yakshaver use, because you've got AI use, and then you want to say Yakshaver use.
Yep.
With the bull.
Yeah. So some of the PBIs that were created manually were because they started off as emails. So if we get the feature where we can Yakshave emails, then the percentage is going to be even higher.
Right. Do we want to Yakshave email?
I think that's tomorrow's brainstorming.
Do we really want to do that?
I mean, some emails start off as conversations in emails and then turn into.
Okay, at least we get everything in the backlog.
Yeah.
I was misunderstanding that. I thought you wanted to make sure Yakshaver sent emails, where I think that's a bit of a problem when it's sending emails. I think it should always say which backlog do you want this, but we're trying to reduce it. Yakshaver sending emails.
Yeah, but sometimes conversation starts as emails, and I actually Yakshaved an email saying, well, all of the instructions are already in emails. I'm literally just Yakshaving the email saying, here's what we need to do.
Yeah. We almost need 2 words. You know how you have an inbox and a send items? We need, Yakshaver send and Yakshaver inbox. Because basically what you're caring about is the Yakshaver send feature. Yeah. And what I care about is that we don't use the Yakshaver inbox feature.
Alrighty. I'll fix up this coloring when I can actually figure out what the color code is.
And don't forget to update the template, or tell Seth to update the template with the yak shaver used.
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
Is there a backlog they run out of that I could yak shave it into?
No, I would probably just send this email to Seth and say add that section yak shaver used there. But you also have to tell him how that is generated, because everybody want to know how to generate that.
As far as I understand, we already have it for GitHub. This is for Azure's DevOps specifically.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah, the script is relatively generic, so you just add the pipeline file.
Now, don't forget, add an extra line after the third record there.
Add an extra line. Okay.
You just right click on it and go insert row. Yep, beautiful.
Something like that's fine.
Yeah, cool. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, Sprint Retro, what went well? We have a new PO. We have staging back up and functional. And also Ingram Micro is ready for testing on staging. So we're ready to hopefully start getting it used in production now once that testing is complete. What didn't go so well? We lost Yuli.
Can you complete that sentence? We lost Yuli to marketing and sales.
Actually, no, we don't use full stops. Cool. Improvements for next sprint, backlog refinement, and Mike more or less said the same thing there. We need to get a handle on the roadmap. I think it would be nice if we could have a look and get a clear direction. At the moment, we've got our sort of feed in a couple of different epics. So it'd be nice if we sort of focus our efforts into one, considering TimePro hasn't really got too many devs in it at the moment, and going into the next couple of weeks, it will have less. Anyway, something we'll action next sprint. Cool.
Yeah, we almost have more active epics than people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything to contribute to the retro?
No, very good, Toby.
Very good. No dramas. Cool. Alrighty, for this next sprint, it's going to be a 1 week sprint as well. We have the goal to finish Ingram Micro and get Jimmy and Mike on for testing. I'm also going to give Stefan the rundown tomorrow, so he can get into it as well.
And you're also tomorrow going to get me to watch the video.
Yeah. Oh, you want to watch it? Okay. Yep.
I definitely don't want you to make a video without getting me to watch it. Yeah.
Tomorrow won't be a good day for you, though, will it?
Well, tomorrow, I would say around 11 should be okay.
Okay, around 11, sure.
Yeah. And if you want to watch the record of my intro presentation about what we're doing for next year, you can at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah. Will it be recorded?
Not sure. But yeah.
All right. Then for what we've got planned, since we are kind of at the tail end of it, we're just sort of going to try and round off whatever we can with Ingram Micro, address a couple of bugs there. Address a couple of bugs there, make sure that everything's in a good position so we can pivot and follow another epic as needed. So yeah, we have a handful of bugs here. Ingram Micro testing, which we're wanting to add. The existing work, and also
sorry guys,
that's all right, this task out of the Ingram Micro non-MVP epic, just to incorporate the discounts and the Ingram Micro features together, so it can work automatically. All right, any questions there, or we're all happy?
All good.
All good.
I missed a part of that, sorry, a client call. Did I miss anything, Toby?
Nothing we didn't capture in the last one before. Adam just wants me to get him to review the Ingram Micro dumb video.
Oh yeah, cool. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Alrighty.
So I did a skim. I need to do that as well. And part of what we're going to do is the sprint goal for this one is to make sure it works and get Jimmy across it as well. Because Jimmy sends me invoices, by the way, Adam, for licensing now. He does the manual calculation, so it'd be good to get Jimmy across it as well. So he'll do some testing with me, make sure the maths is all right.
Cool. Alrighty. Thanks everyone for joining. As always, I'll upload this on the SSW TimePro YouTube channel, so you can watch any of our other sprint review summaries. Brilliant. Thanks everyone. See you next time.
Thanks.
Thanks.